your captain for all things creative, and I'm back at you again with the huge One Piece appreciation video for the live action. You check out my law outfit, and really the main thing that I found when I was trying to figure out, okay, what can I say about this really, really well done adaptation of the anime and manga? And I was just, researching, and I found a really good TV guide video about the set design and the choices that they made. And I really think what made the One Piece live action work really well was just the fact that they were able to recreate the worlds around the characters. And of course, they cast it beautifully. But I think it really was the set design and actor combination that sold it. So I wanted to share, this set design secret video with you and reacting to it. So hopefully, TV Guide and whoever was the creators will see that this is for, educational and inspirational purposes so that people would be inspired to watch the actual show. And I'm hoping we'll get a second season as long as, these companies pay these actors and writers and people very well. So let's get into the set secrets of my reaction. Right. Oh, remember to like, share, and subscribe because sharing is caring. All right, let's watch this TV guide explanation of the sets and the magic that happened on there. And my popcorn and my drink. Let's go.
The set that I'm kind of I'm most excited for the fans to see is Kaya's mansion, because in the manga you never go into the mansion, so nobody really knows what it looks like. Not much is known about Kaya, but what we do know is that her grandparents started the shipyard. They started building ships for everybody in the East Blue, so that would have been pirates and marines and anybody who came.
All right, so pause for that. Shows you the Going Merry, the first ship. Spoiler alert, the second ship is the Thousand Sunny. And I know a lot of fans complained about the Merry, especially the open mouth and the horns. I was ambivalent about it. I just like seeing Luffy sitting on top of it, so we shall see what else happens
to them. So I figured that they would have a kind of sales room. So when you first walk into the house in the hallway, there's painted on all the walls all these ships that fans will recognize from other parts of the story that they've built. And, this would be the place where you say, well, what kind of ship do you want? These are ones that we've built before. And, and to give it a real One Piece feel, we carved these two wonderful penguins at the bottom of the staircase, which is iconic to One Piece.
Sorry about the mess.
We shot all of the Kaya stuff on inside a mansion that had been been built but abandoned, and there was nothing inside. It was all just sort of a concrete shell. So it was kind of a playground. And we couldn't find a room to put the kitchen in. And the kitchen had some really important scenes, and so it needed some scale and everything. And I walked back around, and there was an indoor swimming pool in there that was surrounded by columns. And I was walking around it, I thought, maybe we could put the kitchen in the swimming pool, and it would be like a split level kitchen. And so I started imagining this thing, and I got an illustration of it done, and it just made the most fantastic kitchen.
All right, pause. So the kitchen, really cool that it was actually a pool. I didn't notice that when I was watching the video, but something that fans did notice was all the electricity up in the house. So that is not that consistent with the manga and anime. Yes, there's some technology in the world, but not like this, And also, a lot of the arc with Usopp, the fighting happened outside of the house, and Usopp had like some kids helping him fend off, Kurono's other bad pirates, but I thought it was a cool choice to have all that drama inside the house, and the way Kuro was portrayed was really cool, especially with the claws. If you see my other video about like the top 5 pirates in the live action One Piece, Kuro made the list because I think he might have been even more impressive than he was in the anime. But let's continue.
And also just perfect for all the action that happened in there. I think, but I mean, Baratie is one of my. It's one.
Okay, so this is Sanji's restaurant with Chef Zeph. And I really like how they did that too.
One of my favorite sets in the show. I think because it's so uniquely One Piece. You know, like this wonderful. It's a restaurant. It's made of ships and everything, and it's got this fish head on the front. It's that perfect blend of the 18th century pirate world, and then all this sort of wonderful kind of fantasy, but you know, but that is very specific.
I think this place is a restaurant.
Then I know what we're gonna do next.
Oda gave clues to, you know, where how settings had evolved. There's the wonderful book which shows all of the settings and the inspiration for all the settings that he's got in One Piece. And I did look up, you know, for Baratie, and he had seen a picture of a restaurant in Vietnam that is a floating restaurant. It's a modern ship, and it's got this big fish head on the front of it. And so I looked at that, and you know, and then it got me thinking how Zeph would with this restaurant. And so the story I told myself is Zeph was a pirate. He now wanted to be a restaurateur. All he had was his ship.
It's one thing to have a dream.
Okay, Zeph didn't make my list of the pirates that are really well done, but he's honorable mention because that bearded braid alone and the way they showed him on the desert island with Sanji just really got me in my feels. It's very reminiscent, you know, of the anime and the manga. And it kind of reminded me of like if Gordon Ramsay was a pirate in One Piece land. But let's continue.
It's another to go after it.
And he realized that he needed more room. So, you know, he needed room for offices, he needed room to be able to, for rooms for his staff and all kinds of things. So he went to the local pirate, the pirate scrapyard, and he bought a couple more pirate galleons, and he stuck those on top. And then and on his way out there was a giant fish head that was there, and so he bought that as well, and he put the whole thing together to create Baratie.
That fish better have a bar.
It was also a set that sort of kept giving to us as well. We loved the exterior of it so much that we wanted to play more scenes outside so you could really see it. And that's what gave me the idea of putting the dorsal bar inside the fish mouth. Instead of inside the ship as we originally had it. And it made just the most wonderfully unique bar.
All right, so we have Arlong Park now. This is really where Nami shines, and that scene where she asked Luffy for help gave me all the feels, just like in the anime. So I think the guy who played Arlong did a really good job, and whoever was the makeup artist who did the prosthetics also did very well. Well, let's see how they did the set.
In the manga, you know, you kind of see this place, and it's where they hang out, they play games, they do gambling and all kinds of things. And there was something about the quality of the characters in it all, where it almost felt like they were at a kind of carnival. And you know the way a carnival can be like a lot of fun and then suddenly can turn sinister, in the way that like in horror movies they do it all the time. So, you know, at a carnival you start off and it's like, oh, this is so much fun, and then, you know, the horror begins. And I think Arlong was like that, where it's like, oh, it was really fun to hang out, and then suddenly for Nami, it's like he actually is a huge tyrant. So the carnival thing kind of came up fairly early for me as just an idea of a kind of symbol of Arlong's character.
You know Arlong hates to wait.
So the story I told with Arlong is that actually he raided a carnival, a while back. He stole everything from the carnival. He brought it back to, to his base because when he, in the One Piece lore, he finds this island and he suppresses the people which is, Nami's home island. And so I figured he kind of moved into a temple there and set up his carnival so that they could kind of party in it. We had to find a location for this. And so I briefed in the location manager and I said, well, what we need to do is we need to find a huge kidney-shaped swimming pool, but it has to be in the middle of a woods and with no buildings around like this. And we were, and we were laughing because it's like, well, who's ever going to find a location like that, And then the location manager said, but you know what? I might just have that location. And then she took me to this place that was just about an hour outside of Cape Town.
Cape Town. So they went to South Africa. Wow, that's dedication. It shows the amount of love that went into this live action remake. I think it's probably one of the best remakes. And just the fact that they searched all over and went all over, for these sets is really cool. And even his letter to the fans, Otis, and that took like 7 years to really, complete this project. So I know they went all the way to Cape Town for Island Park. That's so cool.
And we drove around the corner, and there, in a clearing of the woods, was this old kidney-shaped swimming pool with no buildings around, and it was completely surrounded by forest. It was like, I can't believe you've shown me this place. So that was kind of made for us.
What is this place?
Arlong's map room, the most important thing with it is it had to look like a prison, because Nami is kept prisoner in there by Arlong, and drawing all these maps. And so that's why the interior of it I built in stone, and it had all these sharks' heads sticking out. I took stuff from the manga, and then which I kind of reused. So Arlong has got these sharks like on top of roofs and stuff. So I took those sharks' heads and put them inside the thing. So it's kind of this feeling that Nami's in this room. It's completely circular, so there's nowhere she can hide. There's no corners to go and hide in. And there are sharks' heads overlooking her. She's constantly being watched and everything. But it also made for a very great, a fantastic space for that big fight between Luffy and Arlong at the end of those episodes.
Get out of here, Nami. But Luffy, just go. I got this.
It had to be very tall as well, because it's where Luffy shows off his rubber punch and brings the whole pagoda down. It couldn't just be any sort of ordinary room, and because Nami's been making maps for years and years, I thought also it was something of a library. So although it was kind of stone and like a prison, it also is a library for all the maps of the East Blue that she's been making for Arlong.
Oh, wow, the dedication. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen the One Piece live action yet, you need to. It's very well done. If I had to compare it to other live actions I've seen, it's probably one of the best anime adaptations. I also like Battle Angel Alita. What else have I seen that comes close? And I'd say Battle Angel Alita is probably the best one. The last Pokemon movie where Ryan Reynolds wasn't bad, but this show has all the feels, the great actors, especially Makenyu. He sold it for me. So yeah, I will watch it. Take care. Remember, you're the master of your fate. You're the captain of your soul. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Bye.